Hey guys, and welcome to my comparison with the new Samsung Galaxy S4 versus the Samsung Galaxy S3. This video we will talk about specs. So if we begin, the new Samsung Galaxy S4 got unveiled today. So I can't have it, I can't do a hands-on video, I can't talk about it. But I can talk about it like this, and we have in this video we have it on the left side, and then on the right side we do have the Galaxy S3. The Galaxy S3 was the GT i9300, and this new phone from Samsung is the GT i9500. So if you start to dig into this, this should be kind of obvious already, but both these two phones are available now in 3G and 4G variants. Okay, just to be very clear about that. The new Galaxy S4 comes in two different variants. One that will be running with an Exynos 5 octa-core processor and having Exynos, and then another variant that will be running on the Snapdragon 600 processor that will be clocked at 1.9 gigahertz. That's a little bit higher than the HTC One that's clocked at 1.7 gigahertz, which is HTC's flagship device for 2013. And I do know that with the Galaxy S3 there were also two different variants where I was living. First, when the original Galaxy S3 came out, it wasn't available in a 4G variant, but this year it will, because 4G is more built out now where I live. So the first one was the GT i9300, it didn't have 4G, and then I bought the Galaxy S3, a new variant called the GT i9305, which was very identical to the original S3, but it did have 4G, and it also did have 1 gigabyte of more RAM, so 2 gigabytes instead of 1 gigabyte. But that's mainly the changes there. Now, so the new device here, of course, got announced now in March. I think the S3 last year got announced around April, or was it March? And the S4 will be coming out here in April, probably late April, very early May. In Europe and a ton of other regions of the world. So it would be a little bit like around 1 month to 1.5 months earlier than last generation's Galaxy S3 that did come out at the end of May, early June. So if we look at the dimensions here, the first one you can see that the new S4 is a little bit thinner. It's 7.9 millimeters in thickness versus the old S3 that's 8.6 millimeters. They still have the same width, 136 millimeters, and then the height here is also pretty interesting, that they are also very identical. They are around 70 millimeters on both. The weight here, 3 grams less on the new S4, 130 grams over there. The display technology is Super AMOLED screen on both. Now this is something that's interesting. With the Galaxy S2, the original Galaxy S2, it did have the Super AMOLED Plus display, but then Samsung did skip that, maybe because they did have problems to make 720p displays and HD displays of the Super AMOLED Plus screen. Because the S3 had a 720p screen, 1280 times 720 pixels, 4.8 inch in size, so that means that it would have a PPI of 306, which is extremely high. But now, of course, with the full HD display here on the new S4, which is even higher resolution, 1080 times 1920, and the display also bumped up from 4.8 to 4.99 inch. The PPI has bumped up even more to 441. Now, will you see a real big difference when you look at the text? No, you won't. Maybe if you are in the Kindle app and have the text set down to extremely low, you may see a small little difference here. But overall, it shouldn't be a big huge thing there. Now, in terms of protection, we do have the new Gorilla Glass 3 on the new Galaxy S4, bumping up from Galaxy S3's Gorilla Glass 2, which I'm really not sure if it was better than the first generation Gorilla Glass, because both my Gorilla Glass 2, both my Galaxy S3 and my Galaxy S2 that I'm having right now that have Gorilla Glass 2, I smashed the screen on both of them. So I do really hope that the S3's or S4's Gorilla Glass 3 is even better. And yeah, I really do hope that. And also, speaking about the body and dimensions here of this device is just like last year. It's not waterproof or dustproof, so I'm just letting you know about that. So card slot is there. You can remove the battery. Micro SD support up to 64GB, same as last year. Internal, it will come out in 16, 32, and 64GB variant, same use as last year. And 2GB RAM, bumping up from the original S3's 1GB RAM. But then, of course, we did have new variants. All the Galaxy S3 coming out now with 2GB RAM. But you shouldn't have any issues whatsoever over there. Also, the new S4 will come out in a black and white color here at launch, and then we'll probably get new colors later down the road, just as we got with the S3. They actually did launch in a blue color and a white color in the beginning, but this time seems to be black and white again. So if we move down, speed now also has bumped up a little bit. You should be able to get HDDPA speeds of 42 megabits per second instead of just 21 megabits per second. And then you do have support for Cat 3 and some other interesting stuff here. And then also Wi-Fi support. You now have support for not just the normal Wi-Fi 802.11 ABGN technology, but you also have now support for the AC Wi-Fi technology, which I don't think most people will have a problem with that, but could be fun to know there. Bluetooth, of course, version 4.0 on both, NFC on both. You also get an infrared port here, an IR port for the Samsung Galaxy S4, which is pretty cool. The original S3 didn't have that, so you will be able to use your S4 as a remote controller to, let's say, your TV or whatever. So of course that's very, very cool. Also USB, you will have support for MHL on the Galaxy S4, and you don't have to use Samsung's MHL adapter that you had to do with the Galaxy S3, but now you will be able to use any MHL adapter from what I have now understood. Also, the camera is a bump up here from 8 megapixel camera to a 30 megapixel camera. And the new Galaxy S4 also, the software improvements. Mainly this video won't talk that much about the software, but the new camera software in the Galaxy S4 compared to the S3 has also been updated, and the S4 is borrowing a lot of things from the Galaxy camera software. So it's a little bit more cool there in the camera, and also that the camera is being bumped up from 8 megapixel to a 30 megapixel sensor. So it would be fun to see the kind of camera quality there, and also you do have some awesome new cool things in the camera software that you'll be able to record a video and use the same both cameras at the same time, dual camera, and this is something that you also will be able to use in video calling. Now, probably most of these features, these cool features in TouchWiz that you will get with the S4, they probably will be available in the S3s later on down the road. So that's why I'm not want to focus too much on that in this video. But the camera is also updated, front-facing camera to 2 megapixel compared to last generation's 1.9 megapixel, and also now the front-facing camera records video in 1080p instead of your 720p as with the S3. And also you get latest version of Android. You get 4.2.2 Jelly Bean with the S4 once it's going to get out here on the market in April. Compared to the Galaxy S3 that's having Android 4.1 Jelly Bean at the moment. But that one probably will be updated to Android 4.2.2 very, very soon after the S4 release, maybe a month later or something. And then also pretty interesting here, the chipset, because I've been talking about this, that the Samsung Galaxy S4 will come in 2 different variants, one with Exynos and one with Snapdragon or Qualcomm. First we do have the Exynos one, which will have the new Exynos 5 Octa 5410 compared to last generations, or the S3's Exynos 4, the 4412 one. So a big update there from Exynos 4 to 5. And the big update here with the CPU, of course, is that not only do you get quad-core 1.6 GHz Cortex A15 with the S4 compared to last generation's quad-core 1.4 GHz Cortex A9. So first a big huge bump here used on that. First you get quad-core on both, of course, 1.6 GHz, so a little bit higher clocked here. with Cortex-A15 on the S4 from 1.4 GHz on the S3, but you also get a huge bump here from Cortex-A9 to Cortex-A15. That's like, I think, twice performance used over there, and then also that the clock speed is a little bit higher. But then you also get 4 extra cores with Exynos 5 clocked at 1.2 GHz, the Cortex-A7. They're not as good as Cortex-A9, but they're meant to be used in a state where you don't use the phone in a heavy way, so the phone could save up battery. And then when you do heavy gaming on, let's say, your Galaxy S4, it will use the Cortex-A15 cores clocked at 1.6 GHz. So you can say it's an 8-core setup, but all of the cores aren't used at the same time on the S4. So I'm not sure if you can actually say that it's real 8-core setup, but of course it's a marketing. It will sell phones used by people hearing about that. Now, if you look at the CPU, GPU here, also the thing that you do, so you can say it's the graphic card for your phone. Samsung is now moving away from Mali 400. I think Mali 400 is from ARM. So they're switching away from that, and now they are going with the PowerVR SGX 544 MP3 GPU that you will get in S4 compared to Mali 400 MP stands for multiprocessor that you would get in the S3. So I'm not sure why they're doing this, but the PowerVR SGX 544 MP3 there at the end stands for this triple core graphics, and there are 2 different variants of PowerVR SGX 544, one quad core variant and one triple core. Samsung is going here with triple core, and this GPU is actually a little bit higher, a little bit newer than the iPhone 5's GPU that's using a PowerVR SGX 543 MP3 triple core GPU. So it could be a little bit interesting to know that. So it's a good GPU. It's a very, very good GPU. And if we continue and look at some specs here, the battery's been bumped up to 500 extra milliamps, going from 2100 on the S3 to 2600 milliamps now on the new Galaxy S4, which definitely is an interesting upgrade. We can look at other comparisons like the Xperia Z that's having around 2300 milliamps, so way better battery life than that one. And Samsung has been very, very famous for having a good battery life, and hopefully with the 1080p display, the battery life will still be good. So this has been a quick little look here at the specs side, and I think it's interesting to take a look at these things. Are there actually any massive differences? What would I say? Should you upgrade? I mean, if you're a normal consumer, I wouldn't really say that it's like worth upgrading. I would say wait for the Galaxy S5 until you upgrade, because this is only for the guys that do have those monies and really want to have the latest things. But there are also some really interesting stuff in the software. You will have features like Smart Pause, Smart Scroll, S-Translate, S-Health. There's just a ton of cool things that they added to the software, to the TouchWiz software that I want to take a deeper and closer look at in the future. Once I get my hands on the Samsung Galaxy S4, that will definitely be very, very fun and interesting and awesome. So also, I didn't say actually, but yes, the colors is white and black, but they are being called White Frost and Black Mist. Could be a little bit interesting over there to know. This smart scroll feature is basically, it will be able to track your eyes, and then also you will have a feature that you already do have in the Galaxy Note 2, but with your fingers. So with the Galaxy Note 2 in the album, you have a feature that if you take out the S Pen and hover over the screen, you will get a sneak preview of, let's say if you're in an album, you can get a sneak preview without even touching the screen. Now this will work with your finger now in the future, which is pretty cool and a nice little feature there. So there is a lot of nice little things about the Samsung Galaxy S4 that definitely will be fun here to take a look at once I get my hands on this device. And we still don't know what kind of region is going to get what phone, because they do have these 2 different variants. And also of course this new S4, the IR blaster, it's on the front side of the device, so could be nice to know that. So what do you think about this device? Please let me know that in the comment section down below. I think it's a good upgrade actually, but if you are already having the Galaxy S3, maybe you shouldn't upgrade right now, especially if you're short on money. You also have other cool features in TouchWiz, especially in the camera. You have these features like drama shot, and also that it will take burst shots actually quicker than the Xperia Z, so you will be able to take 100 pictures in around 6 seconds, and drama shot will let you take or create animated GIFs out of those things. And then also they have a feature called sound and shoot, where let's say you take a picture, you can also record a 9-second audio to that picture, so then you can also of course send it to someone if you are interested in that. Now the other smart feature that they also did have was called smart pause. It basically, let's say you play a movie or something, and then you look away from the screen, it should basically pause whatever now you're doing. And then they also have a feature called group play, which just makes you, let's say you have Galaxy S4 friends, you can actually share music in a surround mode, or actually play games with each other by automatically just that your phone will recognize that, you know, the Galaxy S4 is here in where we are located at the moment. It will also have some kind of wireless charging, which I definitely do think is a little bit interesting, and there were some cool decent accessories that is kind of nice. They also made some enhancement to the S-Voice Drive, actually, that is what they're calling it. They have different game pads and calorie counting and different cool new cases that I definitely think that it's worth taking a look at. And their new charging pad and this S Health, you know, if you're a health crazy guy, and the air gesture is, you know, it's a little bit cool. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. I think that, you know, I don't know how this phone feels at the moment. It still has this plastic feeling from what I've heard. But of course, as you can see, on the back and on the top of the device, you still have the plastic feeling, but you have some kind of other materials. So I actually think it looks a little bit cool. And also I think that on the size of the phone, it seems like they have updated that. So the phone will come out in 155 countries, on 327 different carriers. So the possibility that it will come out to you, it is pretty big, and it will come out to all, you know, major carriers in the US. Even some small guys is also coming out. And also this 4G LTE that they were saying, they did also state that it was supporting up to hexaband, so that could be a little bit awesome over there. But as I was thinking about and saying earlier, is that Samsung is a guy that they do actually focus a lot on the software, and I definitely think that is cool. A lot of people say that this is like gimmick features and stuff. I actually think that we're coming to a phase now where I'm not really sure how much more cool things you can do with the specs. I think that the specs race could die off in a few years from now, and that more focus will go on the various software. And I don't think that the software that Samsung puts out on their devices is one of their things that do make them kind of unique, that they do have a ton of different features. And then you can also talk about that a lot of it is like giving features, but actually I do use S-Voice sometimes, and I actually do think it's fun when they bring out new cool awesome things like this. And you can also argue about the plastic feeling of the device. Should it feel like this? I mean, like, I've been using Galaxy phones since the original Galaxy S2. I used the original Galaxy S2. It was one of my first Android smartphones. I used that one for around 2 months, and then the Galaxy Note came out, which was one of the phones that did revolutionize the market of phones, because it was over 5-inch. It was 5.3-inch, and it was so cool using that phone, because it was like this new kind of cool thing, and no one had such a big phone. And I used that one for 6 months. Then I bought the Galaxy S3 when that one came out, and also did revolutionize the market. It was like 50% better performance than the Galaxy Note. And then I used that one for 6 months, and then the Galaxy Note 2 came out, and that one was bigger than the. It was an amazing upgrade, and a lot of people mistake that phone as being this phone that was like an upgrade for the S3, but that's not the case. It was actually just an upgrade for the original Note. So the Note 2 was just so amazing upgrades. The S Pen was smaller, the S Pen worked better, the bottom layout was better, the phone was bigger, but it did feel smaller in your hand, and the camera was better, and it was just so many things that was better in the software that I did notice. So now I'm using this phone for 6 months, and one of the things that actually I want to see more improvements on with the S4, and I really do hope that they have improved that, is the screen. Okay, the screen still cracks for me. So I really do hope with the updates from Gorilla Glass 2 to Gorilla Glass 3, I really do hope that it will be harder to crack the display. And also would be really cool if Samsung would unveil in the Galaxy S5 a phone that doesn't break, or I mean not doesn't break, but a phone that can handle water and dust. Kind of like the Xperia Z, but I think that the problem with the Xperia Z is like when you want to open up some ports, that's a little bit annoying. But that would be definitely insane cool to have that, and I definitely think that we'll see more about that in the future, about these super insane phones that have super amazing specs. You can do anything you want with them, and so I mean in the future I definitely think that we'll see more about that, really improving the quality. And then you can also talk about these like does plastic matter? Like, do people? I don't think I've heard a single guy using a Galaxy device be saying that, oh, I don't like the plastic feeling. I mean, like, I think plastic is good if you drop your device a lot and you don't have glass on the back. But I mean, that's just a personal opinion. It would definitely be fun to see with the Galaxy S4. How it's going to be once I get my hands on with the device. I mean, Galaxy S3 was such a huge success for me and my YouTube channel, so it will be fun to dig into. I really do hope that you did enjoy this video. Quick little sneak peek look here. I also want to try out a ton of accessories, and I also heard this rumor that the Samsung may release a Galaxy S3 updated variant, which also could be an interesting device to take a look at. I also would like to know your opinions about what you want to see more on this YouTube channel, and were you happy with the S4, and do you think, I think it's going to be one of the big success this year, at least in phones, and it will be interesting to see how the market will be going in the future here when they will focus less on the specs race, because we're really getting like amazing displays and everything. Like what is it that's going to come out in the future? I have no idea, but it will definitely be fun to follow up the market. And also one thing that I want to see more is just the better synchronizations over different apps, different computers. I just want everything to work seamlessly. I don't have to worry about syncing or anything. Everything should just be automatic. Something also did a very cool feature was a business feature actually, so you will be able to use your phone, both the private side of your phone and then a work side of your phone, with the security program called Zonax, or it was a weird name like that, but it did actually look very awesome, and that you will be able to have earlier it's always been that you have had to have like a work phone and then a private phone, but it seems like they will solve that problem now this year with this new cool feature. So you will be able to use the phone private and work by not letting them interfere with each other. So let's say you get a message from your boss, and then you take a picture that you don't want your boss to see, or I mean like it's like you have one phone, but it's a work phone and a private phone. It's a little bit complicated to know, and the charging pad definitely would be something also that would be kind of interesting. But starting to see it more and more this year, and also this gamepad also did look pretty interesting, having that kind of gamepad and have fun and you know, play around with. And the program was actually called Samsung Knox. So you have a personal space and a workspace on your phone, and probably this service may cost a little bit. Hopefully it will work seamlessly and you know, just I think work. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Right now, you just have an awesome day, you have a great weekend, and please tell me your opinions and everything, and what you like about me and what you don't like about me and everything, because I want to know, because you are awesome and I'm awesome and everyone is awesome. Everyone that's doing what they love, they are awesome, and it's super great. Yeah, have a good day. Peace.